The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on a break!
with Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, October 15th, 2021, season 17, episode number 42. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We've got Nick and Amber here with me. Dave will be joining us momentarily. We got a lot we're going to talk about today. We're going to get you guys ready for Cowboys versus Patriots that happens this Sunday. And we have some storylines we'll go through. We're going to play a little game of see or no. We haven't done that in a long time. And Amber has so many questions for us, so that I think that'll be a fun segment. And we'll certainly try to, if we have some time, take some questions from you guys. You can call us 888-855-2297, or you can hit me up on Twitter, and I could also get some questions that way. Let's start first with some injury updates. And I think at some point we'll probably get even more updates, because I know Dave is right now with the head coach talking to him about different things. But, Nick, give us what you know about, and I know obviously the two big ones, Tyron Smith and Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, Tyron Smith had an MRI yesterday just to look at the neck. I think that they're encouraged by what they saw, or probably what they didn't see. But I think the word was favorable that Mike McCarthy used about that. But, this is a situation that's always going to happen. I think it's always going to be a thing with his neck, and things are going to pop up. And I think for right now, though, they're not too concerned about it. Trayvon Diggs, ankle injury, and I think it's been told that he'll be a game-time decision to play in the game in New England against Bill Belichick.
Yes, I mean, this morning I opened up my email and saw the practice report for the first time in months. Yeah. And I was like, come back yesterday, we're talking good and everything. Oh, Cowboys winning, all that. And I look at the report, I'm like, no. That name too. So but then again, I don't know how concerned I should currently be, because I'm kind of getting back into things and trying to. So what you guys that have been here, what's the most concerning injury that's popped up right now? I mean, obviously Tyron, and then Trayvon Diggs, but sometimes they show up on the report and it's just kind of to take care of them. But
Tyron's been clean this year for the most part. I haven't remember seeing him on injury reports. So when I saw that yesterday, and especially when I saw it was the neck, I got concerned, mainly because, again, like you're saying, Nick, this is going to be an ongoing thing. And it was just, when we talked to him back at training camp, he was saying that, he's feeling the best he's ever felt. He's glad he did the surgery, the whole nine. Right. And so for me, it was like, okay, good. We're into the season. He's not having issues. And then this pops up, and I know I got concerned. Yeah, I mean, regardless of what it turns out to be, it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, it has to be concerning. And I've been told in the offseason, this stuff's going to happen, man. It's just going to happen with him, and you just got to manage it. And that's what he'll do, and that's what he'll play through. And he'll probably play through this game. And then, of course, he's got the much-needed bye week, for him and for probably a few players. As for Trayvon Diggs, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll play. And the reason why I said that about the Patriots, it's like, if anybody has, I would say, managed the injury report over years, it's been them. It's been, putting guys on. Tom Brady, I think, was on the injury report for like 4 years in a row. So, this is a cat and mouse game. They'll probably put, Diggs, I think, is going to play, but they're going to call him a game-time decision.
But if it's a game-time decision, at that point, with a guy like him that has been having such an amazing season, do you want to even put him out there? Even if he's kind of okay and they give him the green light, do you want to risk him having a game maybe too soon for him to be back and play, or just kind of sit him out and give him an extra week to maybe, because you don't want to lose him for the season, basically.
No.
Or for more than one game.
Well, that's what we don't know. We don't know if this is the kind of injury. Like, there's some injuries, you're right, that if you try to play through it, you can make it worse. There are other injuries that it just kind of is what it is. It's not necessarily, like playing through it's not going to necessarily create more problems. And you get a bye week next week. So you got 2 weeks after that to get him to a point where he can just rest. I'd have to know more about the injury and whether he actually could do more damage to it before I would know the answer to that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a high ankle sprain. I think it's just a regular ankle sprain or ankle injury. So I have a feeling he's going to play. Game time decision is go out there 2 or 3 hours beforehand, run, cut, do whatever, see how, feels. Maybe you take I don't know if you take a shot or heavily tape it. Depends on what the nature of it is, but I just have a feeling that he'll play in this game. And risking it, there's a 1 minute video we posted yesterday about him with all his interceptions in this year. Like, he's worth it because just what he can do and he's worth it if he can play. His 80% might be better than I think the alternative right now.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, I know there are probably people out there that are listening to the show right now that are probably thinking, well, Patriots don't have like this high-powered offensive attack through the air. So if there was a week you were going to miss him, this might be a week where it might be okay. But I still say to that, this defense isn't at the level yet where you're like, oh, this is a shutdown defense. So if you don't have him, even against a bad offense or an average offense, like you're good. I think they need every bit of what they can get from Trayvon Diggs, every bit of what they can get from Micah Parsons. Like, they need these guys.
He's the shutdown part of it.
Yeah.
So he's the reason why they've been what they are. Yeah, he needs to play.
So you can't just say that on any given week, I don't think. You're not at that point yet.
Yeah. But hopefully Dave has some good news for us.
What do you know about these injuries, man?
I'm not that worried about them.
Either one?
Not in the grand scheme of
Diggs
life.
or
just no.
Well, of course in the grand scheme
No,
of life.
long time.
No, you know what I mean.
For this week, probably not, but
it's never good when guys aren't practicing on Friday, right? I don't know how many times I've said that, but I don't think it's a huge deal for the season, and I'm at least optimistic that they'll both play cautiously.
Got it.
Especially with Diggs. Feel a little more confident about Tyron.
Yeah, that's kind of the sense I'm getting. Like, listening to the things I've heard from McCarthy, from you guys, it seems like Tyron is pretty much kind of like, okay, we feel pretty good he's going to play. Trayvon, there seems to be a little like, we'll see.
The thing that makes me nervous about Trayvon is that McCarthy earlier in the week was like, I'm not worried about his status. And then as the week goes on, it's like, well, we'll see how he feels on Sunday. Which to kind of backtrack like that is not usually a good thing.
And he did say this morning on 105.3 The Fan with Sean and RJ, he was like, he says if he keeps progressing, he should be okay. And that to me was the kind of the thing where it's like, okay, well, it's not just a blanket, we think he'll be fine. It's like they got to see something from him today and tomorrow that makes them think he'll be okay, because where he is right now may not be enough.
Purely anecdotal and purely subjective, but he had a press conference yesterday. I mean, if they were that worried about it, I feel like he wouldn't do it. He would they would again, if you're
talking about Trayvon.
Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
Tyron press conference is kind of a waste of everybody's time anyway.
Kind of,
So I mean, if they were super duper worried about it, I don't think they let him do that. Same thing a few weeks ago. Everybody was worried about Randy. He was out at practice, jogging around, having fun with everybody.
Yeah. Zeke too. I mean, last week. Yeah.
Kind of just reading context clues. I am cautiously optimistic that they'll play.
What do we know about DeMonte Casey and Donovan Wilson?
Casey, he's like, I'm fine, I'm all right, no big deal,
awesome,
whatever. So again, he talked to the media yesterday. Donovan, I don't know how to feel about him. This is his first week practicing since the opener.
Yep.
They didn't put him on IR, so like they don't have to activate him or anything. And maybe they feel more pressure to play him if Casey can't play, but he can. So I don't know. I've maybe leaned toward thinking you got the bye right there. You'd bring him back for Minnesota, but you want good players available. So if he feels good enough to play, maybe you try it. I don't know.
Something's going to happen here, especially like the next week or the next game. If Kelvin Joseph comes back and he's ready to play and he's practicing this week, but maybe ready to the next game, and then Donovan Wilson's back, I mean, somebody's going to be inactive here. They haven't had to make an issue out of it. I mean, because obviously Mukwamu and Nashawn, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like there needs to be another one. And that's going to be interesting if one of those guys.
That is interesting.
Is it a safety? Is it? I mean, because everyone's playing pretty well. I mean, Casey's played well, and Malik Hooker's starting to really turn the corner.
You can lean on Kennedy for special teams too.
Yeah, that might be the one, Kennedy. But I mean, has he played a lot of special teams?
I don't know his snap count off the top of my head.
Like he doesn't stand out. Like he's not one of the gunner guys like Cedric Wilson, will go back to a lot of special teams when Michael Gallup comes back. So
you could get away with making him inactive if you wanted to.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to get into a couple storylines. I think the big storyline for this week is, if you're Belichick, what do you choose to try to take away from the Cowboys? We'll talk about that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to the break.
Hey everyone, let me find a good read for you. How about this one? Let's get rowdy. Invite Rowdy to your next event. From watch parties to birthday parties, corporate events, special deliveries, and more, Rowdy brings games, entertainment, and photo opportunities to all occasions. Visit DallasCowboys.com/rowdy to book your appearance today.
Welcome back to the second segment of the break, live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're talking Cowboys versus Patriots. And the big storyline for this week, I think most weeks we got like 5, 6, 7 storylines. I think there's one big storyline this week. You look at the Patriots, you look at the coach. They are notorious, and they are very, very good at taking away at least that one thing that their opponents want to be able to do. The question becomes, what does Belichick decide that is that thing for the Cowboys? I'll start with you, Nick. Where do you think they go on this?
We've already had a nice argument today about this on a radio show. So, I mean, I think they start with, and basically what I said this on yesterday's Media Mash. I mean, if you want to know what the identity of the team is, I mean, Bill Belichick's going to tell you pretty soon of what he is going to try to take away. I mean, I think you still got to try to take away the run. But I mean, it's the problem is you just can't take away one thing because they will kick your ass in the other stuff. They've shown that. So but I still think if they're just going to say we're not going to let Dak beat us and we're going to let him run, that's going to be a bloodbath. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think I agree. We talked about that leading into the week of like somebody eventually is going to batten down the hatches and try to stop the Cowboys from running, right? And Belichick has the personnel to do that, I think. Well,
that's what they do regularly, right?
I don't know if they have the personnel to just completely shut it down. I'll believe somebody can hold the Cowboys under 100 as a team when I see it happen. But 110, 120, I think that's probably a win when you're considering the level of opposition. And it's never just one thing, right? Like on third downs, I'm sure they'll kind of revert to that classic Patriots man, cover one, cover zero, maybe even try to, especially if Tyron Smith is gimpy or God forbid if he doesn't play in this game. I think there's some wins you can find in pass protection. But if I was Bill Belichick, I would probably try to commit to the run more than a lot of people have, because I think some of these teams have just outright given it up, in my opinion, and it's gotten them killed.
But I think that's kind of the key here is that the base of what they do, which is that cover one, bring that other safety down, that gives you what you want really to be able to stop the run, putting 8 men in the box. My question is, are they good enough, even with 8 men in the box, to stop the Cowboys from running? Because I think there have been other teams that the Cowboys have played the last few weeks that in certain situations had 8 men in the box. I just don't know that it's worked. I think right now they're just playing at such a high level, running the ball. It's going to be difficult for them to stop them.
They don't run conventionally. That's the thing. I mean, they can with Zeke, but they run the ball on the outside. They run with sweeps and reverses and things with Pollard out there. So you can put 8 guys in the box, but still there's ways to run around that. But it's not an easy solution at all, and that's what we're seeing. That's why we're seeing Dalton Schultz have so much success, because they're trying to figure out how to stop the run. They kind of stop in the pass, and then Schultz is just open right in the middle, and they're going to have to just keep doing that. I mean, and Belichick mentioned his name a couple times in the press conference. There's no way they're going to try to stop him.
Well, if they were, I don't think Belichick will be mentioning his name a bunch of times in a press conference, right? I mean, like that's vintage Belichick kind of laying out there kind of what he wants you to know, and then he's going to do something different, right?
He said the name of every person on this offense at one point. I mean, he basically just gushed about how great they are for 5 minutes the other day.
Gushed.
Which is what he does.
No, but I mean, by Belichickian standards, yeah.
But he does that. Like, again, that's
a thing. That's a word.
Belichickian.
When you accomplish what he has accomplished, you can have your own adjective for sure.
I like it. This is a common thing, I think, among NFL coaches. Jason Garrett used to do it all the time. You spend, 5 minutes just going on and on about the opponent. No matter how good or how bad they are, you find all the things that you think are good about them, or that you can make a case or somewhat good about them, and then you talk about them publicly like that. Question is, what is he saying behind the scenes? Like, this is the guy we really need to – is he really going behind the scenes with his team and saying, man, we got to worry about this Schultz guy? Or is he saying, hey, stop Zeke. Stop Zeke, stop Pollard, and we got a shot. That's our only shot, right?
I think you got to worry about everybody. And going back to your question, I don't think – I keep trying to play different scenarios in my head, but I just don't see them being able to completely shut down the Cowboys' offense, especially how they've been playing. The only way I see this going bad is what I mentioned yesterday, is that if they go out there and the Cowboys themselves walk out and start a game all sloppy, create mistakes, I think lose the ball. Zeke did it last game, and it wasn't necessarily fully his fault.
It was Dak.
Was it Dak?
Dak had 2 turnovers, or interception and a fumble.
Dropped the snap.
But was there a play where Zeke recently?
Nah,
I
can't remember.
This year. This year he's been pretty clean on that.
I thought I had seen some for some reason. But either way, the point is keeping the ball, making sure that they don't go out being sloppy, which I don't think should happen, because the Cowboys, I mean, they've been walking out there and just being confident in the way they play, and the fact that they are winning games, it just kind of builds you up even more. And I don't know if it's just me, because I haven't been around here for a while, but based on the things that I've seen on the TV, and you guys know I always like to watch body language, they have a different kind of energy. Like, they're energized right now. And last game, they started out even walking on the sideline. I saw, and I was going to text you guys. I'm like, this is not going to start out good. They're walking around with no energy, and they did look sloppy, not to give me credit, but hey, I know a thing or two about body language, which Will McClay has kind of gotten me into that because they look around. That's how they really evaluate players, you know? Yeah. But anyways, my point is this game is going to come down to Cowboys themselves and not necessarily what the Patriots are going to do against them.
Trayvon Diggs actually kind of debunks that theory because his body language is that he's hurt, he's tired, and he's old. And then he's actually like
and
the
then
best,
next play he takes
he's the best cornerback in the league right now.
Playing possum.
Yeah.
But he carries
which
a
he
smile.
might be doing this week.
I
don't know.
If I had to
taking it to another level,
if I had to put money on it today, I think he plays.
Yeah.
It's based on nothing other than hunch.
I just know this. If they go into this game and they say, hey, we're going to really focus on stopping the run, which any team can stop most other teams if they want to dedicate enough resources to it. If they're willing to do that, that means there are going to be a lot of guys running around the field with one guy trying to cover them. I think Dak will have a freaking field day.
Yeah.
He will light them up if they're just going to go man against CD or against Cooper. Like, I just think there's not they would be just as hard pressed to win that game as if they decided they were going to do the opposite and say we're just going to let them run on us.
I don't know. I don't think that they can just take anything away. I think almost you have to play it straight up here. And that's not really what he does. And then he'll figure it out.
And
He's
mix
Bill
it up
Belichick.
enough to where,
you have to try to keep him guessing, but there's no
How
way.
freaking fun is this?
It's fun.
I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a while since we're over here trying to figure out how can a team take down the Cowboys offense.
How can Bill Belichick
Belichick.
take
Bill
down
Belichick,
the Cowboys?
right.
What's he gonna do? What is Belichick gonna do to stop the Cowboys?
This is where I always think if I were in a coma and then I woke up and I decided to just show up to work one day and you guys are talking, I'm like, what? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Bill Belichick? You're trying to wonder how Bill Belichick can shut down.
Belichick
the Cowboys
doesn't
offense?
have any players. He's gonna have it figured out, and the Cowboys have way too many options.
Right.
You're gonna be like, what happened?
I'd be like, geez, I've been asleep a long time.
Not really though.
I'm trying not to be a jerk, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you've been paying attention for the last 2 years, like since Brady left.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the point, though, is it's just interesting how
this
is a flip of fortunes.
My, how the turntables.
Yeah. Table turns?
You're not a fan of The Office?
No.
Sorry. Never mind.
Oh, sorry. I missed
No,
that.
it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our final break, and then when we come back, Amber's going to have a little game for us. We're going to play a little see or no. There are lots of questions she has about this team. We'll talk about that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to the break.
Check out the new Miller Lighthouse located outside of AT&T Stadium where Dallas Cowboys game day traditions are born. Enjoy yard games, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, performances, beer gardens, and more. Game ticket is required. For more information, visit AT&T Stadium/Miller Lighthouse.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Amber, you got a game for us. Let's go.
I got a lot of questions, so let's see how many we can get through. So, earlier we were talking about the safety position, actually, and let's say these guys are back healthy and able to play. How are you guys currently feeling? This is not a sí or no. This is my question, though. And then we'll get into fans.
Right.
But how are you guys actually currently feeling about the safety position overall? I know Dave and I have been complaining about it forever.
Better than I have in the entire time that I've covered this team.
Wow.
It's a long time.
That's not even that. Thank you. That's not even that strong of a statement when you think about it. Like they've sucked at safety this whole time, but
that's why it actually is a strong.
Statement. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Well, you're right, but I guess what I'm saying is it's not a high bar to pass, but they're pretty high above where I figured the bar would be.
Yeah. And especially when you factor. Go ahead, Nate.
They just put some resources in it as well, even though they were banged up. They were like, we're going to take Malik Hooker, we're going to take DeMonte KZ, and they're coming off of injuries, but they've been good players, and we're going to take J-Ron Curse, we're going to take Keanu O'Neal, make him a linebacker, we're going to do all these things and just kind of bet on them, and they've all kind of worked out. They've all sort of come back from injury. They've played as well. I don't think we've seen Keanu O'Neal play as great as he's been before. He's playing in a new position too. This may not be the best position for him. I don't know, but I'm just saying. They kind of bet on them, and those guys bet on themselves signing one-year deals, and so far it is kind of worked out.
But it seems like they've put these kinds of resources. Like none of those guys were highly touted free agents that they signed. These were all like one-year deal kind of guys that you're going to take a flyer. It seems like they've done that in the past. The difference this year is that they actually worked out, right?
No, seriously.
I can't think of the names, though. I thought that too, but I'm like, but who? I can't think of anyone like that.
Will Allen.
We thought I actually had more hopes for HaHa than I had for any of these guys coming in, and he just flamed out.
That's because of you didn't have high hopes for these guys because of HaHa. Because of him, you were like, wow, this guy.
I just think I got here in 2013, and every year they sign these types of deals, and they're usually either outright bad or just passable players. And I think all of these guys are playing above that. I mean,
and they're all playing pretty good. I mean, nobody's lighting the world on fire. I mean, DeMonte KZ's had some turnovers there by the goal line that have been difference maker plays, but
J-Ron Curse has made some plays.
Yeah,
right?
J-Ron, he's on a different level. He's not even safety anymore, really, is he? I mean, he's kind of.
I guess.
That guy's been one of the best.
Move around.
Malik Hooker. But they're playing themselves into a possible contract.
And maybe, just maybe, their success is a direct reflection of the guy that's orchestrating all of this. Maybe he just knows how to use these pieces in the right ways that other teams have not been able to use them in that way to get the most out of them.
He knows how to get pressure. And when you get pressure, you can have really good secondary play. And if you've got great secondary players like you had in Seattle and you get pressure, then they get a nickname, and then they're really great and they go to the Pro Bowl and all that.
Just not going to be Hot Boys, though.
No. I think the Hot Boys.
No, it's still lingering.
They're still changed, so as long as they're changed.
But nobody's playing. I mean,
good point. The two holdovers from the Hot Boys era are both hurt right now. So DA and DeMarcus. Yeah. So we'll. I don't know why we're talking about this. I don't want to think about.
So we need it. I
don't want to think about that.
Stop.
I think I didn't catch what
you forgot. One more. He sits upstairs.
William.
He's making sure our show is streaming right now.
Okay, we work with former players. I was like, Barry Church wasn't a hot boy. Like, I was very confused.
No, but Barry Church is number 42, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I want to throw 42, episode 42, Barry Church. We did it for Danny. Let's do it for Barry.
Good.
I mean, I'd like to put Troy Hambrick in there, but it's Barry Church. Church is the guy.
You just want to get Troy Hambrick in there, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into sí or no. We haven't talked much about, Mike McCarthy. Do you think that he deserves as much credit as Moore and Quinn?
As much, yes.
C. I'll say
He's
C.
the head coach.
Very reluctant.
Well, if nothing else, he hired them, which meant he made the right choices in letting them do what they do.
That's just, it's not, I hesitated because it's not an easy yes or no question.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a whole segment about that on like Monday or Tuesday. So I'll say C. There's more to it than that, but you can go back to the Tuesday show and just listen to that conversation.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, this is getting way ahead of the season and everything, but whatever. It's Friday.
Where's the parade?
No. More. Will he be the offensive coordinator next year for the Dallas Cowboys? C or no?
No.
C.
No.
I don't know. I don't.
C.
Unless Jerry has a way of convincing him that he needs to stay here, whether that be by money or
there's a way.
But that's what I'm saying. If he has a way to convince him, I have no doubt that he is going to get an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere. I would put a lot of money on it.
It gets. I don't know if we've specifically talked about that, but Jerry has ways of holding on to people that he wants to hold on to. Money, and let's spell that out.
That's my point. Yeah.
And then so factor in and. We could do a segment on that, but like what jobs are going to become available in the offseason, and are they better than running this offense for another year? I just put it this way. I don't think it's as cut and dry as a lot of people make it out to be. I think Jerry has ways of keeping people he wants to keep. I think Kellen is a very smart guy who recognizes what he's got here, and unless it's just an amazing opportunity. And I know that
as your buddy always.
There's only 32 of these jobs in the world.
Okay, well, that's all well and good. I think Kellen's smart enough to be like, I think I'd rather sit around here and do this for another year than coach the Houston Texans. I'm not saying that job's going to become available.
Fresh cash.
What are the jobs? And there we go. Perfect drop. What are the opportunities? And if it's not the exact right spot, like a team with a quarterback or the right amount of draft capital, I could see him being like, no, I can bide my time and wait another year. We're going to kick ass next year, too. So.
But what we know about the NFL, there'll be 6, 7, maybe 8 teams that'll be available. And there will be some of those where they have a pretty good situation going on. At least they may have a quarterback that's young and he feels like I can develop those guys. Like, there are going to be opportunities. That's why I say, and you look at it every year, teams that do really, really well, typically – If whatever side of the ball is doing the best, that coordinator is going to be a hot name. And this is now not just 1 year. There's a couple years of him being able to do things that people are kind of saying, that's pretty good.
Well, I just don't think it's as obvious that he's gone as a lot of people like to talk about right now. Well, we'll see.
The other question becomes, does he decide to go to college? I know you don't want that to happen because it might end up at your alma mater, but I think that's a possibility.
Kellen going to college? I don't think he wants that.
Well, the fact that he didn't last year, though, that was already on the table.
What other job would? I mean, that's.
Well, there are better jobs than Boise State. Yeah, let's be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. Jobs?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean.
Well, let's talk about jobs. The first thing in jobs.
We get
money. Like the amount of money they can pay is not what some other programs can pay. Right?
I mean, but it's also about job, though. And, the part of it too is not just the program; it's also the job. So he's gonna. I mean, you walk into Boise, you win 9 games. I mean, pretty much. I mean, and you gotta try to lose games over there. So you got a good job. It's steady. I guarantee there's money over there for him.
But are you might not ever play in a national championship. So it depends on what your goals are.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be at the top of college football, that's not the program to go to.
But like, okay, for instance, like LSU. Like, what's a better job, LSU job or the Boise State job? What's a better job?
I think LSU.
When you say job, what do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, not a program and all that.
No,
you can win a national championship with arguably the greatest team ever built in college football and be fired in 2 years because it's hard to keep feeding the monster. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't think any coach thinks that way. Like, no coach is like, well, in 2 years when I suck, they'll throw me out. They're like, no, I'm amazing. I'm going to always win.
That's what I'm saying, though. I think that if he really wanted college football, I think, if that's what he wanted, I think that's what he would have done right then. I think he's trying to get an NFL.
Let me just put it like this.
And also, I said no as to the offensive coordinator. I didn't say he was gone.
Wow. There we go.
That's a whole different
conversation. Flyer strikes back.
Okay.
I don't think Kellen Moore wants to coach college football. I'll happily eat crow if I'm wrong.
You know who should be coaching college football?
Jason Garrett. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I think he would be an outstanding college football coach.
Yeah. But here's the deal.
For the right program and the right job.
Right. My only point is that he's going to have options.
Yeah.
And so when you ask a question like that, I'm like, he's got a ton of options. And that to me says that the likelihood of him staying, unless Jerry's willing to say, well, here, I'm going to pony up to keep you here.
One of those options could be like a 500% raise to stay right where he is.
There we go.
I'm just saying.
If Jerry makes it,
big percent.
It's a large percent.
Add a few zeros.
That's not
going to
happen.
I stole this point from Bob Sturm, so credit to him. He does a great job. But like the salary cap the Cowboys can't use all of their monetary advantages to get talent here. It's against the rules. They can do whatever they want to keep coaches.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And Jerry's got deeper pockets than just about anybody. So he could damn near name his price. And I don't get the impression I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to be like mad that Kellen Moore's getting all this money. I'm just saying.
Mike ain't broke, so
exactly.
I think we're probably okay.
I think it's premature to just assume he's gone. That's all I'm saying.
Unless he makes more than the head coach, then that's Anyways, next question.
Yeah. Next question should be the other side of the ball. Dan Quinn.
Well, I was gonna ask because I've gotten a few questions on this trades. Do you guys the Cowboys make any trades before the deadline? See or no?
It's hard. It's hard to talk about players. Obviously, you can't really do that. But
other teams,
but other teams. But
if anything, position-wise.
I mean, then the question is what could they get? What position could they upgrade? And
That's it. I mean, it's such a case-by-case thing. Like, they don't need to trade for a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Like the one thing that's blinking like a light is if there was a cornerback that could be had for the right price.
That's not what I thought you were saying.
Wasn't either.
What did y'all think?
Center.
I thought you were gonna say center.
Oh no, whatever.
It's not blinking.
I'm not as worried about that as y'all are.
When did this happen?
Right, I thought you were
with me on
worried about this all
Is
season.
it because of that?
No, but like we're in like do I have issue with the way that they handled it? Sure, but like we're into it now.
Okay.
Yes, but we've now heard the coach and we've now heard the owner both say this week, there were some problems happening.
All right.
He's a young player that's not whatever. I don't think it's bad enough that they need to trade. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. If there was a Connor Williams on another team, and I mean a 4-year guy, he starts, he's going to be a free agent, and they don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not. On a team that's not 4-1 and has higher expectations. If say there's a center like that with an expiring contract, I could see, because those teams are like, might as well trade him, get something for him other than maybe, letting him go next year and just getting a compensatory in 2 years. Maybe we trade him, and because those are the contracts you trade. You trade guys at kind of at the end of their deal.
Which is why, I
don't know any player. I don't know names like that, and if I did, I wouldn't say them. But I'm just saying there could be something like that.
No, I have no issue with the question, but it's incredibly hard to answer because you got to. It's hard enough keeping track of the contract situations of everybody here. I don't know the intricacies of like who's an above average center, who's got an expiring deal. I have no idea. So
But if
there's an upgrade for Tyler Biotish who could be had for a day 3 pick, sure,
and do it now.
That seems implausible.
Do
to
it.
me,
Do it Monday. Do it Thursday when Dave's probably on a bye week and went to hang out.
After Thursday, that would be dicey.
But I'm just saying,
in touch with Dave after Thursday.
If you're going to make any move, and get somebody in that really needs to know the system and figure it all out. I mean, you would think it could be this week.
But
after the game,
that's what they did with Amari.
That's what they did.
I think that's also the thing too. Like when you look at this team, there aren't a lot of positions that right now, as you sit, you're like, man, they got issues with depth. This isn't a surprisingly. I don't even want to call them a deep team because that's hard to say in today's world.
You absolutely can call them a deep team.
But I'm saying that's relatively speaking. Like there's no such thing as depth in the NFL anymore, in my opinion, just because of the way that it's all structured. But I think as far as the way it is right now, relatively speaking, it's about as deep as an NFL team can be. And so I'm having a hard time finding a position where I'm like, yeah, you got enough depth to where you can get rid of a guy and not experience something on the back end of losing that player.
Well, they're already, and that's why I kind of take issue with it, because they're already leaning on that depth. Like,
I do too.
They're missing a starting receiver. They're missing their right tackle.
And
they're missing their starting end.
They're not hurt by that
because they're
because they have depth.
No, we're saying the same. All I'm saying
I know
is,
we're saying the same thing.
I don't think that, and this is all relatively speaking. I'm thinking of depth from the standpoint of like 90s NFL football. Like, they're not deep like that. Like, we just talked about it. The guys that they have here who are playing well at safety, let's say, for example, those guys are all on one-year deals. They were kind of guys that you didn't know what you were going to get when you got them, and they're just like playing above that at this point. So that gives you a little bit of depth. But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is a team that doesn't have – I don't think right now I look at it and say I need to necessarily just improve the team by jettisoning someone.
Okay, I mean, Tyler Biotish, if people have issue with him, that's fine. But they have two guys that have been working at center. Again, they didn't handle it right. I'm not backtracking on that. I wish they had a more experienced option. But as the season goes, Tyler plays more. McGovern and Williams are getting snaps in practice. So I would imagine they say, we feel all right about that. And the same thing goes for corner. As much as people hate Anthony Brown, Kelvin Joseph is practicing again. They're like, he's on his way.
You don't need more players at corner, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think that they probably feel good that they've got adequate depth behind their problem spots, that they're like, we'll ride this thing out.
I was just going to say that, to me, even the few areas that they do have depth, those are areas that I wouldn't want to touch it or mess with it, because the guys are kind of pretty decent back behind the starter. So it's like, we haven't had that kind of comfort with the Cowboys in a while. So now that you kind of have it, some cushion there in some positions, I'm like, don't touch it, just leave it.
If somebody calls and says that, hey, one of these receivers you've got, Gallup's coming back, one of these receivers, would y'all trade? Like, you're saying, I don't want to mess with that.
I don't.
Yeah,
I would tell you to kick rocks unless it was for an amazing price.
But here's the thing about Biotish that I think you have to discuss. And I'm uneasy about it. I've been uneasy about it the whole time. But not to sound like a hypocrite, but last year, if we were all, I was sitting right there saying, this Terrence Steele thing, this isn't working. This is not working. I don't know what they're doing, but they keep playing this guy. And now, a year later, it's like, is he better than Lyle? Is he, does Lyle really? I mean, which I think Lyle should come back. I'm just saying he's playing at that level where you don't even know. If we fast forward even the end of this year or next year and Biotish is at that point, you got to trust Joe Philbin. You got to trust the process here. But because we were sitting here a year ago thinking Terrence Steele wasn't a good option.
I think that's a fair point.
And Terrence Steele was bad enough that he was ruining games.
Yes,
Tyler Biotish is not. Like, let's be fair.
It's also the function of the position.
He's the weak link of the offensive line right now. They are playing at an incredibly high level with him in there. Like, he's not ruining their game plans.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. But I'm going to tell you, I actually am more concerned about the depth at the tackle position right now, just because I look at this down the stretch and I'm like, man, what happens if you already got one tackle that's been out on suspension, so reliability, I don't know. And then you look at the other tackle, and now his neck's starting to bother him again. And so
that's why
that's where tackle I get
even
really worried, because I'm like, I do not want to see Ty Nsekhe out there.
Stop trying to move guys to guard.
Right. I think you just stick with what you got. I'm not necessarily trying to trade anybody. Let's stick with what you got and see how long you can ride this out and see how far you can go with it. All right. We appreciate you guys, Jonas. We'll be back.
Not predicting the game?
Oh, yeah. Okay, real quick.
My God.
Well, we got to get out of here. The next show is waiting.
They can wait. It's Friday.
Wow. Okay,
we predict the game on the show.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, can't rhyme Nate without wait.
Can't take none of those
I just told like an all-time great Cowboy offensive lineman he can wait. I think this game is going to be
smash you.
I think this game is going to be a lot like the 2015 game against the Patriots. If you don't remember that, I don't blame you. The Cowboys are going to win this game by 2 or 3 possessions, but the final score is not going to indicate how scrappy and tough that it was. I don't think they have the firepower to keep up with Dallas, and eventually it'll pull away. I say 31-14 final score, which looks lopsided, but it'll be like a one-possession game into the late third, early fourth.
Okay. I looked at it and I said, all right, it's 34-19 is the average points per game. That's what the Cowboys are averaging. Patriots are averaging this. I'm going to take a field goal here and give it here, 31-22. I think the Cowboys will kick their ass. I don't know if it'll show. I kind of disagree with that. I think they'll kick their ass. I don't think the score will show as much either way. 31-22.
All right. Amber.
I agree with that, with the fact that the Cowboys will kind of dominate them, but the score would be, for me, 28-24. But it'll be a fun game, giving me a nice welcome back to enjoy it, finally, fully enjoy it. But yes, Cowboys win for sure.
I think this game's going to look a little bit different than you guys think. I think it's going to be a game where Dallas early, I think, is going to struggle a bit. I think he's going to have something. I know Belichick is Belichick. He's going to have something that's going to baffle them for a little bit. I also trust in the fact that with their offensive coordinator, they will figure out a way to eventually get rolling. I think they'll end up scoring some points, but it won't be to the level that they've been scoring before the season. I think that the final score will be somewhere in the range of like a 24-13 game. Cowboys win comfortably, but in the first half, I think it's going to be a really tight game, and I think Dallas is going to have some struggles. All right, we appreciate you joining us. We will be back Monday. We'll let you know what went right and wrong for the Cowboys. Till then, for Nick Eatman, Dave Hellman, Amber Garcia, I am Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Thanks, Dave.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,